Enough, Kia. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Let's start with the defending champions. Antoine Griezmann scores a tidy goal. But France are held 1-1 by Ukraine. Jules, starting to get a little worried.
So people need to know, this is what we do. We start qualifiers for World Cup especially really badly all the time. I think we've won one in the last 6 first World Cup qualifier games. So this is not new. I don't know why, can't explain it, but even Deschamps' generation himself always struggle at the start of World Cup qualifiers. Worried I'm not. Disappointed, yes, because it was the first half was decent, and if VAR had been there, because even if UEFA
it was a penalty.
Well, it was a penalty, but it was Griezmann's goal, as good as it was. Pavard was offside at the start of the move, so VAR or Pavard, but in this case Pavard because VAR wasn't there, but
get it? I see what you
VAR.
Oh, brilliant.
Hey. But the second half was terrible. I don't know, they fell asleep completely. There was no intensity, no rhythm, no creativity. Kylian Mbappe was dreadful, and Andrei Shevchenko, the Ukraine head coach after the game, said we had a plan against Mbappe. We put more players on his side of the pitch to really sort of mark him closely and everything. So not a good day.
Sophisticated stuff. There.
Yeah,
no, I'm
it
kidding.
is. I could go more into details, but listen,
we could give some credit to Shev, right? He got a point against the world champions.
Exactly,
That's good.
Exactly. Belgium go a goal down against Wales at home, but some Kevin De Bruyne magic sent them on their way to a 3-1 win. Gab, it was pretty much as we expected, right?
Well, I didn't expect Wales' opening goal was really, really
Amazing,
good. Caught them flat-footed. Harry Wilson. It was funny too. Like Thomas Vermaelen started, and Jason Denayer came on, and I'm like, oh, I know what Martinez is doing. In addition to obviously rotating players because they're insanely playing 3 and 8 games, but Vermaelen's 35. He's been a part of Belgium. He's a Belgium legend. Yeah. He plays in Japan now, I think. Yeah. I think the plan is, all right, let's make sure people see enough of Thomas Vermaelen so that either Vermaelen understands that maybe it's okay to be on the bench, or maybe, I have enough reason to. But no, I thought they looked good, and there's a reason why they're favorites or among the favorites for the Euros.
Yeah, there was some positive stuff from Wales in the second half as well. They played high up on the pitch, they pressed well, they created chances. So even with a defeat, it's not all too bad for Wales.
Yeah, you got to put the Welsh
of course.
Of course. Sticking with Wales, yes, more Wales, Jules.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale announced before the game that it would return to Real Madrid at the end of the season because that was always the plan. He said he came to London to play first and foremost, but also to get fit for the Euros. I bet that wasn't Real Madrid's plan, was it?
But they knew it was a one loan deal, right? They knew after the season he would come back.
Yeah, and they knew that they were hoping that he'd come here and he'd be so happy and so productive that, like, I'm writing about this, right? So, but I've got a column coming up in the next few days. But Real Madrid's plan, their hope was, okay, look, you make an insane amount of money that we have to pay you 2021-22 season. You come to Spurs, you're a rip-roaring success.
Yeah.
It's close to Wales. You say, you know what? I want to stay here. And you reach a deal with Spurs, maybe like a 3-year deal or whatever.
But that can still happen. That might still happen.
Well, which is precisely my point. This is something he said purely for leverage.
Yeah, probably. No, I agree with you, but I don't know why people are surprised and people are like criticizing him and saying like, "Oh, look, he uses Spurs as a training ground and this and that."
This is so stupid.
It's not. This is a 1-year loan because he knew he would not play with Zidane in Madrid. So he goes to Spurs, plays more, he's fit, goes to the Euros with Wales, and then he will go back to Madrid. And then they see Zidane might not be the manager, and who comes next might want him to stay anyway. For all we know, he might.
Don't think that's very likely, but
but you don't know. They might finish the contract and both be happy with that. Then he can move somewhere. There's plenty of options.
And I think it's important, just from a leverage perspective, to lay down the marker. You have no idea if Spurs are going to finish in the top 4. If Spurs don't finish in the top 4, Spurs are paying, depending who you talk to, either a third to a half of his wages. Spurs aren't going to want to pay that if they're in the Europa League.
Definitely not.
They may not want to pay it anyway if Mourinho doesn't like him anymore.
Yeah.
So, or who knows if Mourinho's even still there.
Yeah.
But you lay down a marker saying, hey, I'll come back to Madrid, play some golf, and take my chances. So you be prepared.
Yeah, you're right. Burak Yilmaz scores a hat-trick and Turkey beat Holland 4-2. Gab is 35 years old, moved to Ligue 1 in Lille in the summer. He's taken them top of the table. He's been amazing until his recent injury. Please help me celebrate the big man because he was outstanding against the Netherlands.
I love this story because this is a guy who I'm pretty sure he played his entire career
he did.
in Turkey. You know, played for Besiktas, played for Galatasaray years ago. You know, had some tremendous years. Great player. Great players aren't just in the big five leagues, in the League of Talents, as you like to call yourselves. And he does this a hat trick against Holland at 35 years of age. What a story. Now, apart from Davy Klaasen's absurdly good turn and finish, there wasn't much to celebrate for the Dutch. Jules, something tells me you're going to blame Frank de Boer since you're now being nice to Ronald Koeman.
Listen, this is how we can sum up what Frank de Boer has done with Holland. 7 games, right? 2 wins. It's like he's driving a Ferrari. The problem is he doesn't have his driving license. He's got no idea what to do. Ronald Koeman had built something interesting there. There was an identity. There was a formation. There was some momentum going. And he's come in and just ruined it all completely. Ripped it apart. What we saw was just vertical passes, slow, no rhythm.
Like this is horizontal
nothing.
passes.
Horizontal passes, sorry, not vertical passes. This was dire. I mean, how bad were they?
But Jules, it's remarkable that given his stellar CV before taking the job, the immense positive impact he had in Cincinnati, at Crystal Palace, at Inter, I mean, it's pretty shocking that.
It's terrible. I mean, you meant Atlanta.
Being sarcastic,
not
Atlanta,
yeah,
whatever.
but it's unbelievable he got that kind of job. And now I feel for the players, and I hope he turns it around or someone else comes in and turns it around. But this was one of the worst. Cristiano Ronaldo was hoping to add to his 102 international goals tally to close in on Ali Daei's record of 109, Gab. Didn't really quite work out for him and Portugal against Azerbaijan, although they won, of course.
Yeah, Cristiano was playing at home, too, in
in
Turin. I still think they have to figure out how these pieces fit together, Cristiano and Andre Silva. They had chances, but Azerbaijan had everybody back. Azerbaijan has an Italian manager, of course, Gianni Di Biase, former Albania manager, who loves nothing more than disrupting storybook moments. But hey, Portugal got the 3 points and an own goal, and onwards and upwards.